Hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and joining me today is the third-eyed mystic herself, the ever-so-lovely Niema.
Hello, everyone.
So, Niema, we have a stacked show today. Would you agree?
Yes, I would say so.
And I have no idea how I'm going to get through this because, like I was telling you earlier, I am tired as sin. So, hopefully, I don't get all loopy headed, which I most definitely will.
Hmm.
I
We'll make
love how
it.
you don't even say, don't worry, I'll pick up the slack. Just,
Nope. Nope.
So,
I
it's
can't
good.
guarantee anything.
Yeah. Ooh, you're a team player. So, Niema, I'm going to put you on the spot right away. Tell me something random.
Okay. Random.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know. What? You just can't do that.
I just did.
But you have to tell me what kind of random.
It
Like, is
doesn't
there a
matter. Just say
category?
something random. I just want to see what you'll say.
I have no idea. Yeah, no. No, that's not a thing. That's not a thing, Melvin.
Well, it should be. All right. But you know what is a thing?
What?
A little small talk. So let's jump into that.
Mm-hmm.
First things first, I thought this was pretty funny. And you guys, for full disclosure, I linked some of the articles to Niema, so she'll be right on board with us this time. Next time, no.
Yeah, the only time I got a heads up was today.
So, okay. I thought this was freaking hilarious and messed up at the same time, but in some town in Kansas, the police department asked mothers on Father's Day to turn in criminal dads. And they said in a tweet, and I quote, "Does your child's father have warrants? Is he carrying around any drugs? Has he been committing any crimes? Want to give him a Father's Day he'll never forget? Call TPD and we'll help your family make a memory that will last a lifetime." What?
I think it's funny.
It, it's something. I mean,
I don't. I just don't understand how everyone got so bent out of shape.
it's one of those things where it's like, how can I put it? How can I say this? It's like, okay, here's your dad and everything, and yeah, maybe he's doing what he has to do to get by and raise the family or whatever, but we're gonna throw him in jail on Father's Day in front of your kids, properly, so he could go away for years.
But this isn't for dads who are doing what they gotta do. This is for like deadbeats who don't come around and are not in the picture.
No, this isn't for
I'm
no.
assuming, right?
Well, if they're a deadbeat, then the moms wouldn't know where they are to begin with. This is for fathers who might just have a little extra weed or something, and like, get them, book them, Dano.
That's so funny.
I mean, I think it's pretty jacked.
I mean, I've actually like both of the dads in my family have had warrants and like have been criminals in some way. So I just think it's hilarious.
Oh no.
But I would never think that my mom or like any of my family would take that like seriously and be like, "Oh, let's call the cops."
Well, you never know. Like I have learned, don't make women mad. You guys do stuff. So hey,
Yeah.
man, I've seen many times where some chick got mad, called the cops or whatever. It's like, you skank, you ratted me out. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean I love you. Oh, you're gonna love them from behind bars. So yeah, but yeah, I saw this. It got me, and I love one commenter who says, "Hey, Topeka," so that's where they are, Topeka, Kansas. "Hey, Topeka
Mm-hmm.
police, can't believe you tweet this out and then deleted it. Cowards. If you're gonna have the balls to say stupid mess like this, have the balls to stand behind it."
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, if it's out there, you may as well just, like, own up to it. Like, shoot. You can't just
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oh, what? What are you talking about? It doesn't exist." I don't know what you're talking about. The next thing, and I don't know if you saw this before I linked it to you or not, but
I did.
you don't even know what I was gonna say. But
Okay, go ahead.
well, no, you go ahead and take over since you already know. So go on.
Well, when you said you saw this, I'm guessing it's the video of the alien slash Harry Potter character
Yes.
named Dobby.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the only video you sent me.
Okay. Oh, look at that deductive reasoning using logic. Stop it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you who don't know, there was captured on camera a supposed creature. Some are saying it's an alien, some is saying it's Dobby from Harry Potter or some other type of elf. And it is walking down a driveway at night. It does a little chicken dance, and then the video cuts off for whatever reason after he walks a few more feet. What the heck is this thing? And it has blown up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone's first thought is that Dobby character. Or Dobby, or whatever his name is.
Well, the thing from Harry Potter.
Yeah, but what is he?
Oh, I
Is
don't
he
know
an
what he
alien?
is. Wasn't he a slave or something at one point? I don't know what
He's
species
a
he is, though.
oh, he's a house elf,
A house elf. All right.
right? Yeah. So, but do those exist? Do elves exist?
Honestly, I think so at this point. Not too long ago, I was not a big believer in angels and elves and other supernatural things, but no, I changed my mind on that. So, yeah, I think they do.
Hmm.
But I don't know if it's a house elf like that. But some people are saying that it's just her son with underwear on his head playing a prank.
Yeah. Her son's 8.
Yeah, he's like 8 or 9. So,
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
the way that whatever was captured was walking was very weird. Like that for that kid, if it is a prank and him wearing underwear like that and being able to bend his legs like that and do that weird walk and the chicken dance, that's pretty talented.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe.
I don't know. I really have no idea what it is. Of course, everything wants me to yell hoax. It's not real. It's fake. And there's a side of me saying, hold your horses. We don't know because we don't.
Right.
So, what do you think? Real, fake, or something else?
I don't know. I mean, at first I thought it was just fake, and then I like looking at it closer, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then she does have that field, like that wide open field, like right across the street from her. So
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it was an alien.
Now, what I find interesting is after the video went viral, a few of the people in the neighborhood started to get freaked out and paranoid and like, I don't know what it was. I'm kind of frightened. Like, really?
Yeah, yeah. That guy was like, "We need to build an alliance." What?
I'm like, dude, for real, man.
Yeah, like
No.
now they're gonna have like a neighborhood watch, but it's gonna be way more
Oh
extreme.
my gosh. Have you seen that movie Neighborhood Watch or The Neighborhood or something with Ben
No.
Stiller and
Uh-uh.
oh my gosh, that movie is hilarious and I don't want to spoil it for
Wait,
anyone.
wait, wait. No, I think I have seen it. Okay. Maybe I have. I don't know.
Well,
Is it like a cult or something? Like they have this little group in the neighborhood and it's weird, but it's
they had orgies in there.
oh, I don't remember orgies.
So, um
One thing I don't remember.
okay. Well, anyway, it's a funny movie and basically I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but we'll just say this. Things happen and it makes everyone so paranoid they decide to make a a neighborhood watch, but the problem is the neighborhood watch guys, they have a disagreement, so they split into two neighborhood watches, and now they're
Oh
rivals and
wow.
trying to solve this mystery of what's happening. Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn. It is a funny movie. It has a twist in there that I didn't see coming, but definitely check it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Speaking
gonna have
of
to watch that.
movies, you never got back to me if you saw what's the name of it with Matt Damon. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember the name of it. The Adjustment Bureau.
Dang it.
You know, I
The
was
Adjustment Bureau. I feel like I download
because
it?
we're supposed to
Adjustment.
do a review on this, and I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting.
um. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, about that. So
I'm just
whatever.
not a movie person, but I feel like I download it. I don't think I've watched
All right. Well,
it.
it happens, and you're a busy person anyway, so it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know who else has been waiting? People who want full disclosure on UFOs and aliens and all that good stuff. And they might be one step closer towards getting that disclosure. It turns out, earlier in the month, the U.S. senators had a classified meeting about UFO sightings that were captured by the U.S. naval offices and authorities, whatever you want to call them, the Navy. And they
Mm-hmm.
are somewhat publicly speaking about this, which is very interesting. Like 10, 20, 30 years ago, that never would have happened. So, what's going on here?
True. Yeah. Finally getting that disclosure.
I mean, maybe we are. Who knows? Maybe it's something to throw you off a false lead, or I
Oh,
mean,
it's
yeah, maybe they are gearing up for disclosure, which reminds me of something many years ago now, almost a decade ago. Um, I it was quite a few alien movies that came out, but the two biggest ones were Battle for Los Angeles or Battlefield Los Angeles, something like that, and I think Eckhart was the star of that. I can't. Aaron Eckhart was. I think he was the star of it. And the second film was Skylines, and it was a couple other little alien films that came out. And every single person who claims to be an alien contactee or interested in the subject, they were just screaming, "We're gonna have disclosure! It's happening! Hollywood is preparing us!" Boy, how did that go?
yeah.
And
The skylines and the battlefield, are those like fear based?
no.
No?
Well, the
I haven't
Skyline
seen
might
those
be,
either.
but
Okay.
Battlefield Los Angeles or Battle for Los Angeles, definitely not. That's just straight up action.
Oh, okay.
Skyline, it has a little suspense from what I recall. Yeah, they were screaming that, and I remember this one chick in Australia, not Rose. Uh, she I will never forget her. She was an interesting chick. But yeah, she wrote an entire thesis and documents and all this stuff. Like took years of her life. And she said that she plotted out when disclosure was going to happen at this exact point in time and space, and she's like, if I'm wrong, then all of it is just going to go down the toilet and I'm going to quit. Well, she was wrong, and she literally flushed everything down the toilet and quit. Haven't heard from her ever again.
Wow.
Yeah, she kept her word. I'll
Dang.
give her that.
Yeah.
Man, it's a shame too. She was kind of cute.
Uh,
Well, that's how it goes. All right, and Niema, you every now and then, I'm assuming you like going out to eat, right?
oh, yes.
Okay, anything you like in particular?
Sushi.
Oh, well, girl after my own heart. Well, hey, sushi is delicious, man. But I feel
It
like
is.
people on the East Coast, they just don't get it.
Hmm.
Like, maybe it's
Maybe.
because they don't have, I don't know. They just don't get it. But whatever. So let's say you go to your favorite sushi place and, you're there with a girlfriend or two. and you're just relaxing, having a good time. Do you drink sake?
Yes.
Okay, you have a few sips of sake, and you're just enjoying yourself, and here comes your order. It's nice, it's fresh, it's good looking. You get your chopsticks, you have your ginger, your wasabi, your soy sauce ready, and you pick up one of the rolls with the chopstick, and out of nowhere, a giant fat rat just falls on it. What do you do?
I would probably yelp and like fall out of my chair for sure.
Well,
Yeah, I'd be really scared.
unfortunately, this happened to someone at Buffalo Wild Wings in California. I believe it was in California. Let me just click on this to double
Yeah.
check.
I think it's Los Angeles now.
Yep, Southern Cal. Oh, this is an outer state person too. They're from Texas. Well, they should be used. They're from Texas. They should just like shoot it and eat
Right.
it or something.
Shoot it.
I like I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this happened in Southern California. A rat fell from the ceiling onto the plates at the table where the women were eating and stuff. And how nuts is that? It just happened. Just woof, a giant fat rat. And the manager came
Yeah.
over and got in everything and compensated their lunch.
Oh, geez. Thanks.
I would never eat from that place ever again. I would call the health inspectors. I would call everyone. That's just terrible.
Mm. Yeah, they did say there was like construction going on nearby and that was like letting him out. But I don't know. And it also said there was like they had an A in like health code or something like that, but I don't know the rating, so how would I even Is
Yeah, well,
that a
okay.
good thing?
The problem is it's not hard getting a good rating because the health
Mhm.
inspectors they have check anything. Like all you have to do is just have clean looking stuff on the outside and they don't bother about the inside. That's it. Just clean the day before he comes or
Wow.
whatever and you're good to go. Because, I mean, they're
Mm.
incompetent. Like not all of them, but a good chunk are. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm very iffy about going out to places unless I know the place has been there for a few years and I know the people and it's like I know what I'm getting myself into
Hmm.
versus something like a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
But chances are I I I have a feeling that and this is the US, America. I have a feeling that franchise is going to get sued.
For that incident? You think
Well,
so?
I think so because all of a sudden someone's going to say rat droppings are in here. I'm not eating this, and then all of a sudden I'm sick. Oh no! I think they're going to get sued.
Yeah, that's probably why they shut down and are redoing things at
Yeah,
that location anyway.
they have to. I mean, they're liable, and it just opens the door for so many legal issues.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, would you go back after everything is freshly cleaned and stuff?
No way.
Actually, this reminds me of an incident that happened at a supermarket not too far from me. Um, it was mice literally running around on the produce and stuff.
Oh,
Like
ew.
the people were filming them. You saw the workers trying to sweep up the mouse droppings, and oh, that's right, you just ate. I
Oh,
should probably stop this.
that's disgusting.
Oh yeah.
No, you know what? I used to work in a mall, but I worked at a shoe store. We would get mice all the time.
Oh, that's terrible. But
Yeah,
I rather a shoe store have it than some place that I'm gonna eat at.
right. This is true.
So, but yeah, I that just reminded me of that. Oh, that's terrible, 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 terrible.
Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe next time I go out to eat, I'll just bring Baba with me. My
Oh,
snakes.
that reminds me. I gave you a little shout out on the last video I put up.
Oh, yeah.
You probably didn't see it, or
Uh
else you would have
huh.
said something.
That's an accurate statement.
But for those of you who don't know, the last video, at least prior to this podcast, is six bizarre deaths, and you guys go check it out. It's interesting how some of the people forked over, and one of them got me thinking about you. Even though I know it's not the type of snakes you have, but
Mm-hmm.
a person first time in recorded history in 2017 in Indonesia, a man was eaten alive by a snake.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a reticulated python. Ate him alive.
Mm-hmm.
He was in that snake for 2 days. And the worst part
Damn.
is, apparently neighbors heard him screaming and everything, but they didn't think anything of it.
Wow.
Yeah, so his family called the cops. They formed the search party, and then they just saw an oddly shaped, overly bloated snake kind of slither in the garden. Like he returned to the scene of the crime, and they're like, "Hey, what's wrong with that snake? Something's up here." And someone had the bright idea, "Let's cut it open." And they did, and there was the remains.
What the what? I'm looking at pictures now. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
Wow.
and somehow a year later it happened again.
Dang.
Yeah, and so basically what I said was, huh, Niema owns snakes. Huh, they're pythons. Hmm, she's rather tiny. So,
I am tiny. I would definitely get eaten by one of these things for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah, so stay out of Indonesia.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much staying in America. That's what it looks like.
Well, don't go to Florida.
Oh, true. I've been there, but I didn't see any pythons. So,
Okay, that's one of the few states I haven't gone to. Like,
yeah.
I need to complete my map of the U.S. Like, I think I have maybe 6 more states to go, and
Oh, dang. Impressive.
most of them are states I just don't want to go to, Florida being number one.
Hmm.
So it's like I don't want to go there, but I want to complete this. So if I go, I'll just go for spring break. Maybe I'll see some naked women and then get back home.
Did you say naked?
Yes.
That sounds funny. Okay.
What? How does that sound funny?
Because I say naked. You
Oh,
just said naked.
well,
Like, naked lady.
I guess that's the country
Yeah,
in me.
sounds
I don't
funny.
know.
I guess so.
Okay, so I think that's a good spot to end our little small talk. And let's go on to the meat and potatoes of this son of a monkey's uncle. We're getting ready to talk about dreams and consciousness. And let me tell you, the human conscience is such an amazing thing. It's something that we've been trying to figure out since the dawn of time. And I don't think we ever will because it's just that mysterious. Same with dreams. This is, of course, a continuation from last month's podcast where we spoke about dreams. The human consciousness can be broken up into 4 types. But the thing is, though, if you want to get deeper into it, then there's more than 4 types of consciousness. You have one that is, at least for me, this is just strictly Melvin speaking, you have an awakened and aware conscious, a physical conscience, and of course the subconscious. And you have that spiritual consciousness that we just will never be able to explain.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking about the ones that we somewhat understand, you have the normal waking conscience, as they call it. Then you have an abnormal conscience, an altered state consciousness, and finally, unconsciousness, which that's self explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
So, the normal waking conscience is basically us right now. We are witnessing things that are happening around us, at least in the physical world. we're speaking to one another. In this case, Nima and myself, we're able to see things such as my cat sleeping on the couch. And yeah, so, that's just normal, whatever. And then you have the abnormal conscience, which is kind of weird because this one takes it into a different level and it's talking about disorders if you're suffering from something. And the example they give is addictions or obsessive compulsive behavior. And I had to stop and think about it. And it somewhat makes sense because people who have OCD, they usually tend to be, well, they tend to notice everything. Like, it's crazy the amount of details they know.
Hmm.
I mean, what do you think about that?
That kind of interests me because if, like, say, an OCD person, or what's the mental disorder where they start having to like shut the door like 5 times and like turning off the light?
That's OCD, obsessive compulsive
Okay.
disorder.
Okay. So that makes me have questions because they're basically saying that your brain tells you what to do, and I'm like, wait a second, but aren't you? Like,
Yeah,
it's a mind trip.
yeah, it's something weird about that, and I just never thought about it before. I mean, same with addiction because when when you're addicted to something, you got to have that rush. You have to have it, or else you physically get sick, and you start shaking and everything. And even when you're supposed to be clean and sober, it's still there. Like, and it just
Mm-hmm.
takes one little mess up and you're back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. Well, not insane, but insane. It makes me think of Richard Pryor. Do you know who he is?
No.
He is quite possibly one of the greatest comedians ever. Just look up some of his stand up one day. I mean, yeah, he uses very mature language, but after he set himself on fire and went to Africa, his language toned down a little bit. And yes, that's actually what happened. He set himself on fire. But that was from drug use. So he openly admits he was addicted to drugs, and in his comedy routine, he was telling the truth on what happened. He was saying I was addicted to it, and like no matter what, like that's what I wanted. That was my friend and my buddy, and I had to go that way versus everywhere else. And he
Hmm.
just couldn't fight it, nor did he want to fight it because it's like this is what I like, and it's crazy because what happened to mind over matter?
Yeah. I mean, with addiction, I think it rewires your brain and you become dependent on it. So, yeah. But I just don't, I mean, I guess it could be the same with OCD, where your brain is just rewired to the point where you feel like you have to do these things in order to maintain.
Yeah, and what if you don't? Like,
Right.
are you doing this to save the world? Like, I have to do it. Why?
Mhm.
I just have to do it. And
Yeah.
it's funny because if you actually, and part of this is habit because humans are a creature of habits, but if you actually sit down and think about things that you do throughout the day, I bet you have tendencies where it's like OCD like. For instance,
Hmm.
my cat, she has OCD like tendencies. She wakes me up or attempts to wake me up, and before she goes out to use the bathroom, before she looks out the window or whatever, she has to eat. After she eats, she has to look out the window, but she can't look out any window. It has to be one specific window. And after she does that, she has to go eat some more. Then she'll go out, and then she'll come back in and she has to look out the window again. And then she'll play for a minute, go out again, come back. try to get some treats, play a little bit more, and then go to sleep. And she does this every single day. She does not break from it. And when,
She's living the life.
well, yeah, the life of Melvin, give me everything I want. But but what I'm getting at is I tried to sway her from this habit. She was not having it. She can't break it for some reason. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, come on, stop it. Let's do something else. And even me, like, now at times it's like, man, I can't just get something to eat and just eat. Like, I literally have to turn on a movie or a TV show or something interesting, and I get the stuff, then I'll eat. And if it's nothing interesting, I won't eat it. And it's like, why do I have to do it this way? No matter how hard I try, I can't change it.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, are you telling me you have no habits like that?
No, I do. I do.
And you
I have a
better.
similar one. Something has to be on when I'm eating. Yeah. Mhm.
It's just nuts. Well, again, not nuts, but nuts. Okay, so another consciousness is the altered states of consciousness, and I didn't quite understand this one, but then I did. So basically, what I got was they were talking about if you're, well, drugged up and you're aware, but you're so messed up, you're not aware. Kind of like, actually, I would say it's kind of like being drunk sometimes, and you get that liquid courage, and sometimes the next day you have no idea what happened. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
who are you and why are you in my bed? Or where did this bruise come from?
Yes, yes, I agree.
Uh oh. Not saying I know this from experience, but but it reminds me of the time, and I'm gonna say this chick's name because I don't like her for very good reason. But Olivia from Club Sport San Ramon, skank, excuse my French, um, she actually came into work crazy drunk or hungover or something. She had leaves in her hair and her clothes were all everywhere else. I mean, she was just like, I was partying all night and I don't know what happened. And she was trying to remember. And she literally, somehow, she took pictures of everything and she was retracing her memory doing that and stuff. And it was like, why are you even here? Call in sick next time. This was
Right?
mind you, we were working at childcare. So it's like,
Oh no.
exactly.
Go home.
So it's like, what is wrong with you, lady?
Mhm.
But yeah, so I'm thinking that's what they're talking about with that altered state, where you somewhat recall things, but not really, and you have gaps in the memory, and next thing you know, you're just waking up in a ditch somewhere.
Well, yeah, that and definitely like shrooms, acid, DMT,
Yeah,
anything.
actually, you know what? You're the perfect person to ask this. Like, has that happened to you after going on a trip or something where you're just not in your right mind? Like, your memory is kind of faded?
Oh, definitely. I mean, even while I think of altered states as being in an altered state. So it's like you kind of know where you're at, and sometimes that gets really confusing. Like I remember being on shrooms one time and I was with my friends, but I like went to the restroom and I didn't recognize the restroom
Oh.
and I started to freak out because I totally did not know where I was at.
Oh, wow. Man, that's kind of like those people when they just wake up from the dentist or something and they're high on that gas and they're just
Yeah,
they're just in another world.
I bet. Yeah.
Okay. And
Hmm.
then unconsciousness is exactly what it is. You're unconscious, but saying that, I'm going to put my spin on it because with unconsciousness, the physical body is unconscious, but the internal or the spiritual mind, body, whatever you want to call it, it's still fully aware in a weird way. And, you know, that is so odd to me. It's like, how does this work? Where do you go when you're unconscious? Why do we black out and why can't we remember mess?
Hmm.
When you're unconscious anyway. And it kind of makes me think of what happens when you're put into a coma. Because some people, they straight up say, yeah, I was able to hear everything. And this reminds me of what happened with AP and Mrs. AP. He was in a coma after this wicked car accident. And whenever she came in and was speaking to him, all of a sudden it was brain activity and slight movement and stuff. He recognized her voice, but how could he hear anything? Like, how can he be that aware, but he's in a coma? And he's unconscious. He shouldn't know.
Yeah, that's true. Hmm. I think that kind of reminds me of that dream article that you sent when it's saying that people who remember more are somewhat awake or something.
Yeah, something like that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Hmm.
So, because I do believe that, of course, the dream state and the different conscious states, I think they go hand in hand.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's a mystery there. I probably will never solve it, but someone might eventually. Oh, wow. This is nuts. Someone has on some really strong perfume who walked by outside and somehow it seeped inside, and my word, it's punching me in the face hard. Oh, well, apparently a dog across the street agrees. Oh, wow. That's some strong stuff. Good lord. I might have to turn the fan on. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'll have to edit
Does
this
it
out.
smell like Abercrombie?
I don't know what this is, but it is strong. I mean, for it to come into the house from outside. All right. So, anyway, those were the normal consciousness or the physical conscience as I'm calling it. And then you have the mental conscience or the spiritual one, the one that we just don't get. And it's been baffling people forever and ever and ever. Niema, what's your take on that one?
I think it's just something that can't be scientifically measured, so people struggle with it on defining it,
Now,
you know?
according to Psychology Today, there are some people in the field who claim that the conscience is entirely physical, and basically what that means is that there is nothing else. It's just when you go, you're not going to have that conscience. It's just here in the physical realm, period. But then others argue that it's not just physical, it is mental as well. One influences the other. But we can't prove any of this. And it's just confusing. And they went a step further, and this is where, it kind of, this gets to me. But basically, they were saying that, well, actually, I'll just read this part. All right. Uh, why would one? Oops, sorry. Oh, and of course, it is a word that I can't pronounce. So here we go with some butchering. Physicalism holds that consciousness is entirely physical. One type of physicalism denies there's a problem at all. For folk in this philosophical camp called identity theorists, the mental just is the physical. That is, the mental is nothing else than certain physical situation that obtains given certain arrangements of atoms. Why would one want to hold this view? First off, its simplicity is attractive. We need not appeal to spooky concepts like emergence to explain what's going on when we're conscious. Second, it gives us a really good reason to think that computers can become conscious, which I am terrified of, and we need to stop advancing AI. If brains are nothing but biological implementations of computers running a certain program, it's possible that a silicone chip could run the same software as us. Basically, saying that it's looking at it, like I said, entirely physical and it's just software and just a type of physical evolution. It's not taking into account a spiritual side of anything. And I think it's somewhat accurate too when saying that if we keep advancing AI like we are doing, hopefully we stop because we don't need Skynet. Um, then it could start asking, why do I exist? What's my purpose? Or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And then we have a whole new set of problems. And I say, destroy all of them. And
Hmm.
NGK's like, no, you're evil.
Hmm.
So what's up with that? I mean,
Good
what do you
point.
is the conscious, in your opinion, just a physical manifestation, and because we're hardwired that way?
Oh, God, it's so complicated. Um, when that article goes more into detail, I think I would view it as everything in the world is conscious. So, I mean, everything has some form of consciousness, I think,
Uh,
whether we can see it or not.
well, now you're gonna get me paranoid. So I hope you're happy.
You're welcome.
The sincerity in that. Yeah, but it's something to think about, though. I with the consciousness and all that, and again, I don't think we'll ever get a true understanding of it because then, they throw in something like false consciousness. And
False consciousness. What is
yes,
that again?
false consciousness. Basically, according to Marx, false consciousness is. Hold up, I'll just read the exact quote. False consciousness is, in essence, the opposite of a class consciousness. It is individualistic rather than collective in nature and provides a view of oneself as an individual in competition with others of one's rank, rather than a part of a group with unified experiences, struggles, and interests. According to Marx and other social theorists who followed, hey, shut up, bird. A false consciousness is dangerous because it encourages people to think and act in ways that are counter to their economic and social and political self interest. In other words, these guys are the rebels without a cause.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Okay.
so I'm wondering if people who have that false conscious, if they're doing things just to do it because they feel they have no actual place of their own and they take on someone else's issue but it becomes warped.
Hmm. Good point.
So I don't know, it's interesting with the false consciousness. It's pretty deep, but I do like Marx though. I don't know if you've ever studied up on him or anything like that.
I don't think I've gotten a chance to look at his stuff.
So the Marx is, in my opinion, he was ahead of his time, and it's just, well, everyone's opinion, not just my opinion, but he definitely added to the deeper philosophical thoughts of the world, and then some. Um, he actually talks about how how the concept of class consciousness can overthrow the capitalism of the world, or something like that. Actually, here it is. Marx developed this concept of class consciousness as he developed his theory of how workers could overthrow the system of capitalism and then create new economic, social, and political systems based on equality rather than inequality and exploitation. And I, for one, I think with capitalism, because we live in a capitalist country.
Mhm.
Okay, and it doesn't work. It's no equality here, and not in my opinion. I don't see it, and it really is the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And I do understand not going full on socialist. I get that, which people, they, I don't know, that's a scary word. You socialists, but there really should be a mix of something. Like, we need something better because capitalism has created a divide and it does not work the way it's intended to work. Instead,
Mhm.
it's just creating a divide. Literally, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer because the poor have no footing in this race to actually make money. I mean, it takes money to make money or win the lotto and get extremely lucky.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but that's a political thing. We'll talk about that some other time. Mostly I'll be solo when I talk about that because I know you're not into the politics stuff.
Right. Because I am definitely not. No.
So don't worry, I won't throw you to the wolves on that one because I you will get a lot of hate. Listen up, girly. All right, so you mentioned something about dreams earlier. Now, where were you going with that? What's going on with the dreams?
Oh, so let me go back to it in my mind. So when you're asleep, I think it was saying you tend to remember dreams more if you have a sense of awareness while you're sleeping. So more parts of your brain are active, so that's why you remember better or something like that.
Okay, so now if your brain is more active and you're able to remember more and all that, does that also mean you're not getting a peaceful rest? Like basically you're not getting the best rest that you should be getting?
I would think so. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now that's interesting. So wait a second, because you remember a good portion of your dreams. So how is your rest?
That when see before I would wake up a lot, so I'd wake up pretty much every 3 hours. Um, Now I think I sleep more solid, but I definitely am a light sleeper. So I feel like if I hear something or just any type of noise or something happens, I wake up automatically.
And me, I sleep through earthquakes. So
Yeah. And that's probably why you don't remember a
yeah,
lot.
I'm totally out. I'm getting super relaxed. However, saying that, it has to be extremely, extremely loud noises to wake me up, or the cat. No, no, even when the cat jumps on me, I don't wake up because it's been times I woke up with her just laying on me, staring like, "Where's my food? Feed me." So yeah, I literally do sleep through earthquakes, though. That's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. And you would think, though, it would be the opposite. Like, if you're in that relaxed state and everything, you would think you'd be able to remember your dreams more because the outside world isn't going to influence you. You're all in and all that. But no, that's just not the case.
Mhm.
And I have to bring this up because it made me laugh. On Unexplained Possibilities Facebook page, Angie K, she shared a little bit of her dream, and it is, I quote, "I still wonder what that dream about Michelle Obama giving me a pedicure was about." Uh,
That's so
Niema, do
funny.
you know
Oh
what
my
that's
gosh.
about?
I is that the one I commented on? I could have swore I did comment on one of
Oh, was that
those.
you who commented? Okay. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so this is you. Feet symbolize. Hold up, hold up. I'm gonna try to.
Oh, you gotta say it like that? How dare you?
I'm gonna try to do my little impression of you, which is terrible, but yeah, well.
Okay, go for it.
Feet symbolize your path in life. Getting a pedicure means you're moving in the right direction. Okay, that was terrible. And I feel
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, Melvin, how dare you insult me like that? But
Yeah, that was okay.
that is interesting though, and I think I sent a list of the most common dreams.
You did. Yes, you did.
Yeah, and as you can guess, I have none of them. Uh,
Yeah. I was
let's
looking at that list and I don't think I had a lot either.
Yeah, okay. So here is a list of 10 of the most common dreams and allegedly what they mean. Teeth falling out, which I have never heard of anyone dreaming about that. That sounds terrifying. But it says that dream. Okay, mini bike. It says that dreams about your teeth can reflect your anxieties about your appearance and how others perceive you. Such dreams may stem from a fear of rejection, embarrassment, or feeling unattractive. As teeth are used to bite, tear, and chew, dreams about losing your teeth can stem from a sense of powerlessness, which means you may be experiencing self confidence issues. And that makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah, that does make sense. I used to have them where my gums, or no, chewing gum. Like I kept chewing gum and like pulling it out of my teeth. It was terrible.
Oh, and Angie K also has dreams about teeth falling out. That's not cool. So, okay. The next one, and now I know this one is common. I know this one is common. This happens to Benny, although Benny's chased by like a giant ball of poo. Uh, being chased. Being chased suggests you are running away from something that is causing you fear or anxiety in waking life. It indicates that you have a tendency to run away or avoid a particular issue. The chaser can also represent an aspect of yourself. Your own feelings of anger, jealousy, or fear can manifest itself as the threatening figure. So, what is a giant ball of poo?
Shit's catching up to you.
That is actually a very good interpretation of that. I will quote that to him. This one, unable to find a toilet. I can't believe people have dreams about this. Having trouble finding a toilet means you may be finding it difficult to express your needs in a certain situation. It can represent feelings of your personal needs not being met by always putting others first. You may feel that you are lacking time for personal issues and need more privacy, self care, or self expression. Have you ever had that type of dream?
Yes,
Really?
definitely. And I guessed it was the same meaning because I was letting these people go before me to the restroom and I kept letting them go before me and I started pooping myself
Oh,
and I like
no.
ran to the toilet and I was like, oh my God. But what I got from it was I was so focused on other people's problems that I don't tend to my own.
I
So,
could see that.
yeah,
So, okay, so just be a cold hearted witch. You're good.
exactly.
Naked in public. Being naked in a dream. Did I say that right? Naked?
Yes, yeah,
All
you
right.
did that time.
Naked. Naked in public. Being naked in a dream symbolizes not being able to find yourself, uncertainty, or being wrongly accused. If you are not the person, if you are not the naked person in your dream, but you see a nude person and you are sickened by it, it means you are worried about exposing that person. Really?
Mhm.
All right. Any
Have
dreams
you ever
about?
had
No, dude. I can't
No,
even
I
see.
haven't.
No, like even in my dreams, I can't see boobs. So no, that would be too nice. Um, honestly, Unprepared for an exam. I know this one's common. I've heard this one several times. Exam dreams can be a Oh, ugh, and apparently I can't read. Exam dreams can be so real we actually wake up convinced we just failed an important test. At least one in every five people will experience an exam dream in their lives. Exam dreams are a reflection of your lack of confidence and inability to advance to the next stage in life.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I've had one of those. Mm-mm.
Okay. Flying. A tough time flying in your dreams suggests that someone or something is stopping you from moving to the next step in life. Being afraid to fly proposes that you might be having trouble keeping up with the high goals you set for yourself. If you are alone and struggling to fly, it implies that you are lacking confidence within yourself. Any flying dreams?
I do have a lot of flying dreams, but it's usually just me like flying around, just, you know.
Oh, well, hey, you're advancing somewhere. When I do some of the few dreams that I do recall, I wasn't flying. I just fell and landed like a sack of potatoes, and I somehow actually bounced off the bed. So I don't know what that means.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it sucks. Just oh, falling. Here we go. Okay. If you fall anywhere and you're overcome by fear, it signifies insecurity and anxiety about a situation. Enjoying the feeling of falling suggests that you are not afraid of changes. Well, now, here's the issue with that. This is my issue. I literally just fall. Like, it's no slipping on something, not jumping out of anything. It's, oh, I'm falling. Boom. What happened? And
Mhm.
I said this before, but I did hear that falling was supposed to be your spirit jumping back into your body, and it's just literally like it's being thrown in there at a crazy hard force.
Yeah, maybe that's true. I think I like that idea better.
So, but then you have to ask yourself, where the heck was your spirit at? Like, who was he partying with, or she?
Mhm.
So I don't know. That one's whatever. Out of control vehicle. Dreams of cars represent our drive in life and the direction we are taking. At this stage of your life, you may feel that you are off track and need to get back on the road to keep going.
Yeah. My roommate, she had two of those dreams where the car was out of control and I happened to be in the car with her.
Oh,
Um but I think she was at a place in her life where she's just trying to figure it out
yeah.
and she felt out of control. So, it's true.
And I totally read this wrong. I thought it said finding an unused condom.
What?
I read it wrong. It's
Where
finding
is your head at?
in the gutter where it belongs. Um, finding an unused room. If you learn of a new room in your dreams, it denotes new outlooks and abilities that you have realized about yourself. If the room is white, it means you're ready to make a new beginning in your life. Oh yeah.
I've never had that one.
Oh, well, you're not ready for that new beginning.
I guess not.
I would prefer the room to be red, only because that's my favorite color.
Hmm.
And finally, being late. Dreaming that you are late represents your worry and anxiety about taking a different direction in your life, or that you are trying to get things done but you feel that you are running out of time. Your unconscious might be telling you that it is never too late to do the things you want in your life.
Oh, that reminds me of Alice in Wonderland.
Really? What? Okay, how so?
Because the bunny like chases her, and he's all, "You're late, you're late, you're late for a very important date," and it's about like the whole movie's about her actually doing what she wants to do instead of doing what she's expected to do.
And yet she does what she's expected. Remember, eat me, drink me.
That's all in the dream. I'm talking about in her real life.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I wish this was a book because I would get it and send it to you. But there's a game called American McGee Alice Returns. Well, that's the sequel, but it's a different take on Alice in Wonderland, and it's pretty nuts because think of it kind of like a darker, tragic type take where Alice is
Whoa.
in a mental institution and they don't know if the things actually happened or if it was all in her head, and it's pretty messed up actually, but it's very good.
Hmm. Yeah, I might want to watch that.
So, but no, it's a video game, so man.
Oh,
Yes, and we know you're not a gamer, which kind of sucks
please.
because a good chunk of our a good chunk of our followers are gamers. But it's cool. I yap with them, so it's all right.
Yeah, sorry guys.
So, yeah, you suck.
Okay.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. Oh yes, I want to save this for the very last. Okay, so with dreams though and the consciousness, do you think it's possible that your subconscious, is taking in information from your waking conscious and compiling it and putting it in dreams and giving you the information you need to know to better yourself in the waking aspect of life?
100%.
But it's crazy because if that is the case, that means that we have the answers to all of our questions. And
Mm-hmm.
we need to literally seek the answers inside of ourselves instead of outside and looking at everything else, every other direction except within ourselves.
Yep.
Dude, that's pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
But how does that work though? Like how is it that we know? Like is it I don't know. I just how does it work? That's what I want to know. And so people like me who struggle recalling dreams and everything, does that mean that we're just so stubborn we don't want to listen to ourselves?
I would think so. I think we just go get so used to being separated from the universe, and we don't realize how connected we are and how easy it is to get that information.
Yeah,
So
I
we get kind of hung up on the idea that we're just too different,
so
I
and
guess.
you know what else is amazing? This isn't an individual phenomenon. This is something with everyone in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's even scarier though? Every single person, maybe even every living thing, has that little voice. You know how you can speak to yourself in your head?
Mm-hmm.
Just think, literally billions of people do that same thing every day. And literally billions of people wake up and one of the first things they say is, oh, I wonder what I'm going to do today or what am I going to eat, all at the same time. So, saying that, is it possible in some weird way that we are all connected on a subconscious level with energy all across the world, and even in our dreams we all share some type of connection together?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if that is the case, then that would also mean that we should be able to rely on one another for support and answers to certain questions and stuff like that. But for some reason, and this is a huge problem, we never seem to want to help one another. And actually, I'm curious about this. I would like to know this. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you're walking by someone or you see something and you know the person needs help or they look like they need help And in your head, you're like arguing with yourself. You're like, okay, just go and help them and get it done with. And it's like, no, they don't need anything. I should just keep going my merry way and mind my own business or something like that. Have you ever had that type of argument?
Yeah.
Did you help the person?
Well, it was actually my friend, and it was pretty funny because I was like watching her struggle with her suitcase up these stairs. I was just watching her, and I was thinking in my head, it looks like she needs help. No, I'm not going to help. Should I help? No. And then she made fun of me afterwards. She's like, "You're a jerk. You didn't help me at all, and you saw me struggling." I thought it
I
was funny.
agree with that statement. But what I'm getting at is, on some level, every single person has the same thoughts and the same arguments with ourselves. And, I mean, of course, there's so many people, it's going to repeat. It's just going to happen. But every, or just about every single person, I just find that mind blowing, and I want to know why that is. Like, is it because we are connected on a conscious level, and this human experience, this physical world experience, isn't exclusive to the individual but all of us? Like, what if we all are actually from the same source? Like in Hinduism, every single god in Hindu or Hindi or whatever the plural is, every single god is the same God. They come from one source, but for whatever reason, this God broke up into thousands, and they all have their
Mhm.
own individual personalities and lives and all that, but they're the same God, and they're all connected on a subconscious level. And perhaps maybe when we dream, because I mean, this goes into something else, but maybe when we dream, we are all actually going back to that source for a brief period of time, tapping into it. And who knows, maybe we get those answers because we're tapped into everyone and is someone who's already been there, done that, and therefore you know what to do on the subconscious level. It's just that waking, stubborn level, that stubborn conscious, waking conscious, where you don't want to do it.
Mhm.
So I hope you're still with me on this.
Oh, me? Yes, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's the same thing, especially with dreaming, because you wonder why even the things you sent, the 10 most common dreams, like why everyone has that in common
Yeah.
and they all mean relatively the same thing. And that's because we go to that when we dream and everyone has the same experiences and we're all inputting that data. And then so when we wake up and we look it up, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense because we're all experiencing it.
I don't know. And then this goes to something else, but what if those people who struggle a bit more with recalling dreams or whatever, what if it's not necessarily because, they're getting too deep of a sleep, but what if they're not actually connected to the same source? What if their source is elsewhere?
Hmm.
Meaning that, what if their spirit is just from another dimension and they're just decided to have a human experience or something?
Is that how you feel?
No, not really. No. I just feel that I need to stop sleeping so deeply. So, but
Oh.
no, no, no. In all seriousness, though, like, what if they actually have a different source? I mean, you have souls that are born from this planet, and then you have souls that are from somewhere else in the universe or dimension or wherever. And it's kind of like coming to a new country. If you're from somewhere else, you have to become accustomed to the culture there and the changes, the language. You have to learn how to fit in and do things there because they're not going to change for you. You have to change and adapt to them. And what
Hmm.
if the adaptation process is just a bit harder and slower because you're tapping into something that you don't necessarily connect with?
Hmm. That's a good theory.
Something to think about. And with that said, I'm not going to end it just yet because there is one more thing that and this is from BuzzFeed, and every now and then BuzzFeed comes up with some solid stuff. This is one of those. And this these are people sharing some of their weirdest dreams.
Mm.
And I'm going to share a couple of them with you, or at least I was, but I think we're going to have Niema do it.
Yeah, let me go to that. I was reading over them and I was like, there's no way. There's no way that people really dream about this. I was like, is this like made up? Did they just come up with like random stuff and throw it in this? That's how I felt about it. Okay, number one, I had a dream in which I spent a steamy evening with E.T. and he pleasured me. What? So, did the girl watch E.T. before she went to bed? Like,
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
Okay, number two. I dreamt about the people who had waffles for heads, and someone took a giant bite out of the top of one of them. So he died, and they had a funeral for him, and I woke up crying.
That sounds like something you would dream.
Yes, because I have woken up crying, and I probably could see that happening for sure. Let's see. I don't know who this person is, Kit Harrington, so I
I
have no idea.
he's an actor from Game of Thrones. I think he plays like something Snow, Jon Snow.
Under Big Ben, but put three
Well, I've
balls.
never seen Game of Thrones, but it's so freaking popular. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him.
Okay, so I'll read it because I'm sure maybe someone will know. Okay, Kit Harrington came over to me under Big Ben, put three balls of moss on me, and said, "Reading is everywhere," as a rainbow formed over his head.
That is scary. I'm sorry. That's not a good dream.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's a scary dream. Uh, go to number 5.
Okay. Batman, Christian Bale's version, and Jareth, the Goblin King from the Labyrinth, were slap fighting each other like children over who was going to go to the theater with me.
I love that. First of all, I hate Christian Bale's Batman. And have you ever seen Labyrinth?
No.
And that's
Mm-mm.
why you don't get it. God darn it. Honestly, like I'm telling you what we're going to do when we ever meet up, I'm just going to like sit you down and say, "No, sit down, shut up. We're binge watching movies." That simple.
Oh no, torture.
It's not torture. You will like them because they're good, but I can't stand Christian Bale. But my gosh, I can imagine this. I want you to come after me. Fight me. Goblin King. Fight me. Oh, I'm sorry, Sweet Pea. You wake up for that, but everything else you go to sleep for? Really? All right, let's get a couple more in here. Whatever you want, your choice, and then we'll end it.
Okay, yeah, I like this one. I once dreamt a sloth was doing my nails and kept telling me that I should invest in the stock market. I just like sloths. They're cool.
Why? Because
I
they're
wish I had a
just
dream about a sloth.
because they're so slow and innocent and just hello.
Yeah, they're so cool. Okay, let's see. Mhm.
Oh.
Okay, or number 8. I was running through a maze, and all of a sudden, Kermit the Frog jumped out with a knife. I kept running until Dustin Hoffman rose from the ground and shot Kermit.
That is trippy. Honestly, I don't know why Dustin Hoffman is there and why he rose from the ground. I'm trying to think of a movie that he did that in, and I'm failing. But Kermit the Frog with a knife. What?
Oh, have you seen? Yeah, there's a meme that I watched where someone was it Kermit? Oh, someone else. I don't know. It was like puppets fighting, and one of them had a knife.
Oh
He was
my
trying to convince
god.
him to put the knife down. It's pretty hilarious.
Jeez. All right, two more and we'll call it a day.
Oh, two more.
Yeah,
Is
just
there?
two
There's
more.
a lot. I didn't notice how much. I kind of got sick of this. I was just like, I don't believe any of these. No. Um, a badger dressed as a musketeer on his adventures to steal a magical spice rack from a zeppelin. Zeppelin?
What?
What?
No.
Yeah, what is that? I'm confused.
That is hilarious. I
Hmm.
I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, I could totally see how it's like these can't be real.
Yeah, it's based off of a lot of television, I feel like.
But that makes sense though because television influences you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it definitely has an effect on your dreams. Um, okay. I came back from my elementary where everyone became aliens. I saw my dad and told him what happened. He responded, "I'm not your dad," and pointed at a nail sticking out from his head, which was proof of being an alien. That's scary.
That is kind of scary, but ah, yeah, I guess that's your proof. So if you ever see me with the nails sticking out of my head, you know the aliens took me. I guess.
Hmm.
But I think this is a good spot to end it. Guys, don't forget to follow Unexplained Possibilities on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. Be sure to join our Reddit community, yap with us, share stories, and all of the above. We have a fun little community that's slowly starting to grow, and we'd love to have you there. And with that said, remember, guys, there are things that go bump in the night. Go ahead and tell them hi. Bye, everybody.